What is an ology? Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where someone casually mentions the ology of something? Perhaps they were talking about technology, medicine, or some intricate system that seemed just beyond reach. You might have nodded along, understanding the general sentiment, even if the precise meaning felt a bit elusive. Today, we're going to take our time and really explore this curious little word ending that appears in so many parts of our language. We'll discover where it comes from, what it truly means, and why it has become such an essential part of how we talk about knowledge itself. Let's begin with something simple. The word ology represents a branch of knowledge or a field of study. When you see those letters at the end of a word, you're looking at an invitation to explore, to understand, to dive deeper into a specific area of human understanding. Think about words like biology, psychology, or geology. Each one opens a door to an entire world of inquiry and discovery. Biology invites us to understand life in all its magnificent forms. Psychology beckons us to explore the mysterious workings of the human mind. Geology grounds us in the ancient story of our planet itself. These aren't just abstract academic terms. They're signposts pointing toward vast territories of knowledge that humans have carefully mapped over centuries. But the meaning of ology has evolved beyond the strictly academic. In everyday conversation, people now use it more loosely to describe any complicated or specialized subject. When someone says, "I don't understand the ology of computers," they're essentially saying there's an entire universe of technical knowledge behind that screen that they haven't yet explored. It's a humble acknowledgement that behind everyday objects and systems lie deep wells of expertise and understanding. This casual usage reveals something important about how we perceive knowledge itself. We recognize that expertise exists in layers, and that ology of something represents that deeper level of understanding that specialists possess. Now, let's travel back in time to discover where this word truly began. The journey takes us to ancient Greece, the birthplace of Western philosophy and systematic inquiry. In Greek, the word logia meant study, account, or discourse. It came from logos, which carried rich meanings including word, reason, and principle. The ancient Greeks were pioneers in organizing knowledge into distinct categories. They believed that understanding the world required careful observation, logical thinking, and systematic study. When the English language adopted this Greek structure, it added a connecting vowel. That little O was inserted before logi, creating the smooth, flowing sound we recognize today. This wasn't just a linguistic accident. It reflected the influence of Latin, which served as a bridge between Greek intellectual traditions and modern European languages. The real explosion of ology words happened during the 19th century. This was an extraordinary period in human history, marked by rapid scientific advancement, medical breakthroughs, and the professionalization of academic disciplines. Universities were expanding. Research institutions were being founded. Scholars were making discoveries that required new vocabulary to describe them. The suffix ology became the perfect tool for naming these emerging fields. It was precise, it was dignified, and it immediately conveyed seriousness and scholarly rigor. When scientists coined terms like bacteriology or seismology, they were doing more than creating labels. They were establishing entire domains of systematic investigation. Understanding how ology words are constructed is remarkably empowering. Once you grasp the pattern, a whole realm of seemingly complex vocabulary becomes transparent. The formula is beautifully simple. You take a root word describing what's being studied, and you add ology to indicate the study of that subject. Consider biology. The prefix bio comes from Greek, meaning life. Add ology, and you have the study of life. Geology? Geo means earth. Sociology? Socio refers to society. This pattern repeats again and again across hundreds of words. What makes this truly useful is that even when you encounter an unfamiliar ology word for the first time, the ending itself provides a crucial clue. Your mind immediately understands. This is a field of knowledge, an organized body of understanding, a domain where experts have dedicated time and effort to systematic study. Let's explore some of the most familiar ologies and see how they map our understanding of the world. Some focus on the natural world, helping us comprehend the environment around us. Biology, as we've mentioned, encompasses all living things. But within biology, we find even more specific ologies. Zoology narrows the focus to animals. Ecology examines how organisms interact with their environments, revealing the delicate web of relationships that sustains life. Botany, though it doesn't end in ology, plays a similar role by focusing on plants. Then there's geology, which tells the story of our planet through rocks, minerals, and the slow dance of tectonic plates. Oceanology takes us beneath the waves to understand the mysteries of the seas. Meteorology helps us predict tomorrow's weather, while climatology studies broader patterns over longer time scales, becoming increasingly crucial as we grapple with climate change. Other ologies turn their attention inward toward human nature and society. Psychology explores the landscape of the mind, investigating thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and consciousness itself. It asks fundamental questions about what makes us who we are. Sociology steps back to examine human society, looking at how we organize ourselves into communities, institutions, and cultures. Anthropology casts an even wider net, studying humanity across time and space, from ancient civilizations to contemporary societies. Within the medical sciences, we find ologies focused on specific systems of the human body. Cardiology centers on the heart and cardiovascular system. Neurology investigates the brain and nervous system, that incredibly complex network that generates our thoughts and perceptions. Dermatology addresses the skin, our body's largest organ. Each of these represents not just a medical specialty, but a deep reservoir of knowledge accumulated through decades of research, clinical practice, and scientific inquiry. When you arrange these ologies side by side, something remarkable emerges. They form a kind of conceptual map, dividing the overwhelming complexity of reality into manageable territories of understanding. Each ology claims a specific domain and develops specialized tools, methods, and vocabularies for exploring it. Together, they represent humanity's ambitious attempt to comprehend everything around us, from the smallest cell to the largest galaxy, from the deepest ocean to the farthest reaches of the mind. But not all ologies are household names. Some of the more obscure ones reveal fascinating dimensions of human curiosity. Consider axiology, the philosophical study of values. It asks profound questions about what we consider good, beautiful, or worthwhile. Eschatology studies final things, including religious beliefs about the end times and the ultimate destiny of humanity. For anyone interested in language, etymology is a delightful treasure. It's the study of word origins, tracing how terms evolve across centuries and cultures. Every word has a history, and etymology uncovers those hidden stories. Then there's scatology, which might make some people uncomfortable. It's the study of excrement, but it also refers to literature and humor focused on taboo bodily functions. While it might seem strange, scatology actually plays important roles in anthropology, archaeology, and understanding ancient health practices. Symbology examines symbols and their meanings across cultures, though many scholars prefer the term semiotics for this field. Heortology is particularly specialized, focusing on the study of religious festivals and holy days. It's worth noting that not every ology stands the test of time. Some become historical curiosities, reminders that scientific understanding evolves and improves. Phrenology is a perfect example. In the 19th century, many educated people believed that the shape and contours of a person's skull revealed their character and mental abilities. Phrenologists would carefully measure heads, claiming to identify personality traits based on bumps and indentations. Today, we recognize phrenology as pseudoscience, a well-intentioned but fundamentally flawed attempt to understand human psychology. Its rise and fall teaches us an important lesson. The existence of an ology doesn't automatically guarantee that a field is scientifically valid. Knowledge requires constant testing, revision, and improvement. What seemed like a promising area of study in one era might be discredited in the next as we develop better methods and deeper understanding. But the story of ology isn't just about the past. This suffix remains remarkably alive and productive in our language. Productive is a linguistic term meaning that a word part can still be used to create new words. People continue coining new ology terms as human interests and technologies evolve. Some of these new coinages are serious, reflecting genuine emerging fields of study. Others are playful, invented half-jokingly, but revealing something about contemporary culture. You might hear someone talk about coffeeology, jokingly referring to the expertise of coffee connoisseurs who could discourse at length about bean varieties, roasting profiles, and brewing methods. Netflixology might describe the skill of navigating streaming services and understanding their algorithms. Fitnessology could refer to the complex world of exercise science, nutrition, and wellness. These playful inventions aren't meaningless. They demonstrate how deeply the concept of specialized knowledge has penetrated everyday consciousness. We've internalized the idea that behind any activity or interest, there can be layers of expertise, technical vocabulary, and systematic understanding. The ology ending has become a cultural shorthand for depth of knowledge. It's also worth recognizing that ology isn't the only Greek-based suffix that helps us organize and describe knowledge. It has linguistic cousins that serve related but distinct functions. The suffix onomy relates to rules, systems, and organization. Astronomy studies celestial objects and the rules governing them. Economy originally meant the management of a household, but has expanded to describe the complex systems of production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Taxonomy is the science of classification, creating systematic frameworks for organizing living things. Another important cousin is graphy, which relates to writing, describing, or recording. Geography describes the Earth's features. Cartography is the art and science of mapmaking. Biography records a person's life story. Topography describes the detailed features of terrain. Sometimes, a single subject area can be approached from multiple linguistic angles. You might have geology, which studies the Earth scientifically, and geography, which describes and maps the Earth's features. The subtle distinctions between these suffixes reflect different ways of engaging with knowledge: studying versus describing, investigating versus recording, analyzing versus organizing. As we come to the end of our exploration, let's step back and consider what ologies reveal about the human spirit. At their core, they represent something profoundly hopeful. They show that humans refuse to accept ignorance or confusion. When faced with an incomprehensibly vast and complex universe, we respond by breaking it down. We create categories, establish methods, develop vocabularies, and build communities of scholars dedicated to understanding. Each ology is an assertion that some portion of reality can be known, explored, and explained. This impulse towards systematic understanding has driven some of humanity's greatest achievements. It's led to medical breakthroughs that extend and improve lives. It's enabled technologies that connect people across continents. It's deepened our appreciation for the natural world and our place within it. But ologies also embody a certain humility. By multiplying endlessly, by becoming more and more specialized, they acknowledge that no single person can know everything. The proliferation of ologies reflects the reality that human knowledge has grown beyond what any individual mind can encompass. We've moved from the Renaissance ideal of the polymath, who could master all knowledge, to our current era of deep specialization. Today's experts know more and more about less and less, diving deeply into narrow domains rather than surveying broad landscapes. This isn't a failure. It's an adaptation to the sheer volume of accumulated human understanding. The existence of thousands of specialized ologies, each with its own journals, conferences, and communities, demonstrates how rich and intricate our collective knowledge has become. There's also something democratizing about understanding ologies. Once you grasp the pattern, academic language becomes less intimidating. You might encounter an unfamiliar word like phenomenology or epistemology and recognize immediately that you're dealing with a field of study. Even if you don't know the details, the ending gives you a foothold. It tells you that somewhere there are people who have dedicated themselves to investigating this subject systematically. It suggests that if you wanted to learn more, there would be books to read, courses to take, experts to consult. The ology ending transforms what might seem like incomprehensible jargon into a signpost pointing toward accessible knowledge. So the next time you encounter a long, unfamiliar word ending in those 4 letters, take a moment to appreciate what it represents. It's not just a linguistic flourish or academic pretension. It's a doorway. Behind that door lies a tradition of careful inquiry, accumulated wisdom, and ongoing investigation. Someone, somewhere, cares deeply about that subject. They've asked questions, conducted research, debated with colleagues, and contributed to a growing body of understanding. Every ology, whether familiar or obscure, is evidence of the human determination to make sense of existence, one careful study at a time. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, ologies offer a comforting structure. They remind us that complexity can be navigated, that confusion can give way to clarity, and that the vast universe of knowledge can be approached one domain at a time. They represent our collective effort to transform mystery into understanding, to replace bewilderment with insight. And perhaps most importantly, they show that the pursuit of knowledge never truly ends. As long as humans remain curious, as long as we continue asking questions about ourselves and the world around us, new ologies will emerge and old ones will evolve. The story of ology is ultimately the story of human curiosity itself. So carry this understanding with you. Let it change how you encounter unfamiliar vocabulary. Let it remind you that behind specialized language lies accessible knowledge. And let it inspire you to remain curious, to keep asking questions, and to remember that every field of human understanding began with someone wondering, what if we studied this more carefully? That simple question, repeated across centuries and cultures, has given us the magnificent tapestry of ologies we have today. Each one is an invitation to explore, to understand, and to participate in humanity's ongoing conversation with the universe.